Hi everybody! I wanted to share this Mother's Day card that I made for my mom with you. So to start out, I'm going to take some Nina Exact Vellum Bristol cardstock, and I'm going to use the Lattice frame die from W+9. Just love this die, it's absolutely gorgeous. So now I'm going to poke out all those little bits and pieces from the lattice. I'm going to take some Bundled Sage Distress ink, and I'm going to color some more of that Exact Vellum Bristol, and I'm going to use this to cut out some little leafy sprigs and a leafy vine to put along the left side and the bottom of my lattice. So once I was happy with the color, I went ahead and I grabbed my layered vine border from My Favorite Things Die-Namics. And at this point, I wasn't sure if I was going to use both of them or just one, so I went ahead and cut out both. And then as I was looking at them, I decided to just go ahead and put the cutout over top of the solid image. I have to poke out all the little bits from inside of there first. And then I decided that I wasn't happy with the color of the solid image, so I took some more of that Bundled Sage Distress ink and I just tapped over it a few times to darken it up. Then once I was happy with that, I took my Quickie glue pen and I just went over the back of the cutout leaves so I could adhere that part to the solid image. And I love this Quickie glue pen. It makes it really easy for me to stick things together. And I don't know if it's because the paper was still wet from the ink, because I use the Quickie glue pen all the time and I don't have any problems, but I had a little bit of a hard time getting the cutout to stick to the solid image. I really had to press on it a lot to get it to stay down, but it finally stuck. So for my butterflies, I used some pink and yellow vellum, and I'm going to use the Leavenworth Butterfly Trio butterflies from Memory Box. And I just cut some strips of that pink and yellow vellum. And then I like to use Stick It when I'm die cutting vellum, because it makes it a lot easier to adhere the vellum cutouts to my card. Usually when you're adhering vellum, you have to worry about the adhesive showing through, but that's not a problem with the Stick It. And I wasn't sure if I was going to use all 3 butterflies or not, so I just went ahead and cut them out from both the pink and the yellow. And I've done this before when I'm die cutting vellum. I use the Stick It a lot, and I don't have a problem, but for some reason this time when I pulled the die off of the vellum, the backing from the Stick It came off, and I had those butterflies sticking to my fingers, and the little bits from inside of the wings were all over my hands. So I decided that I wanted a little bit of shimmer on my lattice, so I took my Wink of Stella clear glitter brush pen and I just went around the outside. And I also used the Wink of Stella on my leafy vine border there. I am addicted to the Wink of Stella glitter pen. I use it on every single card. And every time I order from somewhere, I always make sure that I order an extra one because I just really don't want to run out of this stuff. I use so much of it. It's crazy. Then I thought that I needed a little bit more green on my card. So I'm going to use the Leafy Sprig die from Poppy Stamps to cut out 4 little leafy sprigs to add to my card. And I had started to color the paper with that bundled sage, but then I decided to just cut the leafy sprigs out and then color them individually because I didn't want them all the same color. I wanted some darker and some lighter, so it was just easier to achieve the results I wanted by going over them one at a time with that distress ink. And then I went over the leafy sprigs with some more of the Wink of Stella, just to give them a little something extra. Now I'm going to use the Mom script die from Simon Says Stamp, and I'm going to cut that out of a piece of paper from the Die Cuts with a View card stack. I chose the lighter pink, and I didn't know it at the time, but that card stack has adhesive on it. So after I cut out the Mom and I'm taking the die off of the paper was when I realized that it had adhesive on it. So that worked out. I didn't have to add anything extra there. I could just pull that out and stick it right on my card. And I had a little bit of a hard time getting that on the lattice straight, and I think you can see in the picture of the finished card that it's just a little bit crooked, but Mom won't mind. I know she'll still love this card. So once I got that down, I started playing around with my leafy vine border and my little sprigs there to see how I liked them. Sorry, that's my clock. So I decided to adhere my leafy vine border with some Tombow Mono Malte instead of the glue pen. And I wish, in hindsight, that I had used the glue pen instead, because when I stuck the vine to my lattice, the glue, of course, was going through all of those little holes, and my fingers just got totally messed up. So before I put down my leafy sprigs, I wanted to put that big butterfly on first. And I thought that he looked best down there in the corner. So instead of using the yellow body for the butterfly, I decided that it would look better if I used the body that I had cut from the pink vellum, just for a little bit of contrast. And just playing around with the other butterflies to see where I wanted them. And then of course I used the yellow body for the pink butterflies. You see, I'm trying to pull off some fuzz. I had dropped my Mom die on the floor, and I have cats, so I had some cat fur sticking. One more yellow butterfly up in the right corner there. So So the parts of the butterflies where the stick-it adhesive had not already come off, I kind of had a hard time pulling that off. But I finally got it. Now I'm just playing around again with those leafy sprigs. I'd cut out 4 altogether, but then I decided to only use 3 of them, so I'll just save that last one for another project. And here again I'm using my Quickie glue pen to go over those leafy sprigs so I can adhere them to my lattice. I'm just going to trim off those little bits that are hanging off of my card so that I can adhere that to my card base. And of course everything was sticking to my scissors because it had glue on it, but that's okay. So this is a standard A2 size card. So I'm just going to score my base at 4 1/4, and for my base I'm using Neenah Exact Index 110 pound. I like how thick it is. I think it makes for a good card base. It's not flimsy. It's more like the cards that you buy in the store, I think. So I'm just going to put some adhesive on the back of my lattice there so I can put that on my card base. And I think for me the hardest part of making cards is getting my background onto the base. I almost always put it on crooked. Just picking off some more fuzz there. And I got this on almost perfectly straight, so I was pretty happy with how that turned out. And then because I didn't have enough shimmer on my card, I thought I would add some sequins from Simon Says Stamp. I think they're the Moonshine sequins. They're so pretty. So I used the medium size ones and the smaller ones. I thought the big ones were a little bit too big for this card. Then I'm debating about whether or not I should add more. And I thought that I should. Maybe a few more? Yeah, why not? I love these sequins. They're just so pretty and shimmery. And I'm just using my quick stick there to pick up the sequins, and I'm using some multimedia matte to glue them onto my card. And that's going to finish the card. I hope you enjoyed. And if you like this video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe so I know you liked it so I can do some more. Bye!